Hi, my name is Amy Shaw and I'm the Faculty of Medicine, Dentistry and Health Graduate School Manager. I'm just doing a screencast today to explain how we can help you with funding applications that are either for PhD students or include some element of PGR funding. So just to go through a few of the things that we have developed or the areas that we can help with. In finding opportunities, first of all, we have created a database with colleagues in RIS, which is completely sort of searchable by category and type and that kind of thing, including these fields here that you can see. So the deadlines, the suitability, the areas, the link to apply, that kind of thing. That means that rather than just relying on getting a random email, actually when you maybe do sit down and have time or come up with something and think, I need to see if there's any funding out there for this, you can actually go yourself and search for it. There is, of course, Research Professional as well, which I strongly advise you to sign up to. And along with this presentation, there's a folder that's full of hints and tips and different websites and the places that you can go to find funding. So that's linked to at the start of this. We also send emails, of course, so flagging opportunities to PGR leads and department managers. So about the supporting information, so the kind of information that I can provide, that the PGR Admin Hub can provide, are things to do with the research environment, which is increasingly important for the funders. They want to know how the students are going to be prepared for life after the PhD, the kind of environment that they're going to be studying in. So we can provide supporting information on the doctoral development programme, think ahead activities, the results of our PRES survey, which kind of, attest to the quality of the research environment they'll be in, the activities of our PGR forum, innovative programmes, and the progression from PGT to PGR, which is very strong in this faculty. A lot of our PGT students then stay with us to do a PhD. So the kind of stats and data that you might be asked for by an external funder to provide, you might be asked to provide very specific things, or you may not be asked to provide anything in particular, but if you think there are certain things that would support your application, it's worth putting them in there. So all of these things and more, basically. Again, so the PGT to PGR progression, which we do very well on. Nationalities, so things to do with the makeup of our student body. Some funders are particularly interested in that. The kind of gender ratios, that sort of thing. Completion rates, submission rates, sort of average entry qualifications, successful grants in the past. Really just ask us, and we can, chances are we can get it together. If we can't, we'll try to get it and do our best to put it together for you. So as part of this sort of support for funding applications, I decided to do a very rough and ready unscientific survey in the faculty of people's experiences, so supervisors who have applied, to just kind of get an impression of how that's gone for them, the barriers, things they found difficult, things that contributed to their success, that kind of thing. Most people had, in fact everybody had applied for some kind of external PGR funding in the last 5 years, which is good, because we would definitely encourage people to do that as often as possible, particularly if you've taken the time to do all this for internal funding and then perhaps not succeeded simply because of the level of competition, lack of funding. If you've got all of that stuff together, it's definitely worth then turning that into an external application. So just looking at the barriers, the kind of things that people found off-putting or difficult. The time it takes, it often does take quite a lot of your time. However, hopefully with our support, some of that will be cut down because we can do a lot of the sort of information scouting and compiling for you. Complex application procedures, there's little we can do about that other than kind of knowing the score and what to expect. We know with certain funders it's a lot more hassle than others. Finding that reliable information, again, hopefully that's what we can help you with, if you know that we're the place to go to ask, rather than being sort of passed around the houses to several different people. Nobody seemed to think that they had a problem articulating the unique selling points of our research environment, which is good. But at the same time, I would say that it's definitely worth asking us for our input there, just because there's a lot that we can tell you might not necessarily know, and also a lot of applications that come back unsuccessful, that research environment is specifically named as something that they wanted to hear more about, or they didn't feel it was kind of explained sufficiently. So you might as well see what we have, and you can decide whether or not to include it. I asked people about the things that they thought had gone well, that they thought contributed to the success when they were successful. Obviously the main one is that it, aligning well with the funders' priority areas. So that's making sure that you target the right funding opportunities to begin with, and also that you can articulate how your project and proposal really does align with their priorities, and will kind of result in the sort of impact that they're looking for. The potential of the project, again, similar thing, the impact that it will have, that it could have when it's done. Quality of the student, if you are applying for a proposal where the student is included, most of the time actually you're just applying on the project, but sometimes they do require you to nominate a project and a student at the same time, in which case they clearly have to be excellent. Prestige of the department, institution, in a similar line, the academic or the research group's sort of credentials, reputation, very important to kind of, in any way that you can sort of make the most of your standing, you need to be able to do that, demonstrate that. And previous success with that particular funder. So once you have succeeded with one funder, you find that it will open other doors with that funder or a related one. So it's always worth mentioning previous success. And I thought I would just talk about some sort of pull out some snippets from successful feedback that we've had. So things about the supervision plans, the sort of planning the interactions between the students and the supervisors, the scheduling, the quality of the training, the complementary skills, involvement with non-academic partners, so looking outside of the institution, leadership. So all sorts of things that are not directly related to the project, but they are related to the environment and how you're planning to support the students. Again, it kind of underlines what I was saying before about the research environment is very important. In the unsuccessful feedback, a few quotes that I just pulled out. Not sufficiently impactful, slightly glib, but I guess you get the point on that one. And the other one, so weaknesses concerning plans for aspects of training and research. Again, you might think that you kind of know all of our offer here, but it's worth asking us for kind of the full picture so that you can get it in there, because when people do, it is assessed very highly. Quality management not convincingly presented. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's something I wouldn't be able to comment on really. Outreach and communication have not been planned in sufficient extent. Again, so looking outside of the institution and outside of your kind of beyond your project to the public impact of it. This is where we would normally kind of break to have a discussion. So whoever is playing this, you could do that. If not, then we'll just skip on. So in this folder that I will link to at the end, we have, I asked RC UK and HEFCE for information on kind of what they're looking for, what they expect. We've got a couple of documents that kind of detail that. So I would strongly encourage you to go away and read those and make sure that you make it obvious the next time that you make an application how we meet all of those things that they're expecting. And some success stories as well, so linked to in the same folder. We have information on 3 of our successful recent funding applications: Wellcome Trust, MRC Diamond, DTP, Marie Curie, ITN. And that's it. So I will just show you now the folder that this presentation is saved in is just here. And as you can see, where to find funding, supporting information, examples of success, tips for a multi-centre proposal, the expectations that the RC UK sent me, the answers that HEFCE gave to my questions. So this folder hopefully is a good kind of starting point. So just an example of the kind of supporting information that we have that we can give you. Once it opens. I just gathered together some kind of fast facts about our latest recruitment cycle that we have data on. Unfortunately, it is always a year behind. So these kinds of things, depending on how they make us look, you may or may not want to include them. And then that's kind of where the generic information is in there as well. So yeah, whoever is presenting, playing this for you, will send you the link, which is included in the presentation, to this folder, which houses a lot of useful information, lots of stuff to help you, make a really good quality application. So I think what I would stress is just do get in touch with us. The email address is mdhgraduateschool@sheffield.ac.uk. And I or my colleagues would be very happy to help you. Statistics, information, general, opinions, very happy to do proofreading, that kind of thing. And just seeing if there's anything that you might have kind of covered most of the bases, but we're always happy to look. Myself and Martina Daly, who is the head of the graduate school, she's always happy to go through these applications and just make suggestions based on her experiences of successful applications, on things that you might want to add. So do get in touch with us.